What if every research report your team needs, competitive intel, industry trends, content gaps, was automatically written, formatted, and logged to a Google Sheet? No copy pasting, no formatting, no manual entry. Just a clean row in your spreadsheet with everything your team needs to act on. That's what we're building today. This is the end state. You run one command. Claude does the research and writes the output directly to a Google Sheet, automatically. Nobody typed this. You're going to see every step, including the one part that looks scary but takes minutes. I'll go slow there. Stick with me. 2 tools, 0 manual handoffs. You open VS Code, run one command, and Claude handles everything. Researches the topic, writes the report, logs the findings directly to Google Sheets. That's the whole pipeline. Quick call out. This is part 2 of a 2-part series. Part 1 covers building the agent itself and the planning step. Link is in the description. If you haven't watched it, go do it and come back. This won't work without that foundation. Still here? Let's go. First, open your terminal in VS Code. View, then Terminal, and run pip install gspread google auth python.env. 3 libraries. Gspread talks to Google Sheets. Google Auth handles the credentials. Python.env keeps our API keys out of the code and off GitHub. 1 line, done. Now the part that looks technical, it isn't. Think of what we're doing here as creating a robot email address, a dedicated account that gives our Python script permission to write to Google Sheets without you having to log in every time. That's it. That's all this is. Go to console.cloud.google.com. Sign in and create a new project. Call it Intel Tracker. Hit Create. Search for Google Sheets API, enable it. Search for Google Drive API, enable that too. Both need to be on or the connection won't work. Now go to IAM and admin, then service accounts, then create service account. Name it Intel Tracker Bot. Click through and save. Click into the service account. Go to the Keys tab. Add key. Create new key. Choose JSON. It downloads automatically. Rename that file credentials.json and drop it into your project folder. That's the robot. Open credentials.json in VS Code. Find the line that says client_email. Copy that address. It looks like a Gmail, but it isn't. Open your Google Sheet. Hit Share. Paste that email. Set the role to Editor. Share. You'll see a warning that Google couldn't find a Google account for that email. Ignore it. Now we protect the credentials. Create a file called .env in your project folder and add your Sheet ID and credentials path. Your Sheet ID is the long string in the Google Sheets URL between /d/ and /edit. Now create a .gitignore file and add credentials.json and .env. Those 2 files are now invisible to GitHub. Your credentials stay on your machine only. Treat credentials.json like a password. Never share it, never paste it anywhere. Now the bridge, the script that writes to your sheet. Create a new file called append_row.py in your project folder. This is the bridge between Claude and Google Sheets, the script that closes the loop on the pipeline. You don't need to understand every line. Here's what it does in plain English. One job. Take the research Claude produces and write it as a new row in your Google Sheet. Topic, date, summary, findings, sources, next steps. That's the entire pipeline in one file. Now we tell Claude how to use everything we just built. Open your claude.md from part 1 and add a workflow section at the bottom. It tells Claude one thing. After completing each research job and saving the report, log the summary row to Google Sheets by running the append row script. That's it. Research the topic, save the report, write the row. Fully automated. Setup is done. Let's test it before we run the full agent. Run the test command in your terminal. You should see report row appended successfully. Check the sheet. There it is. Connection confirmed. The pipeline is live. Now the real thing. Type python agent.py. It's asking me clarifying questions. Topic. AI upskilling trends for Q2 2026. Time frame, last 90 days. This is the agentic loop. It doesn't stop after one search. It decides whether it has enough, and if it doesn't, it keeps going. That's what makes it an agent, not just a chatbot. Claude Code will ask for your permission before running each bash command. That's just the safety harness. It's showing you exactly what it's about to do before it does it. Report saved. Let me open it. Executive summary. Key findings with inline sources. Suggested next steps. Plain English. Consistent format. Every time. Now let me refresh the sheet. There it is. One new row. Written by the agent. Logged automatically. That row is now shareable. Your whole team can see what was researched, when, and what the findings were. Something will go wrong at some point. Here's how to fix it without touching the code. In Claude Code, just describe the problem in plain English. Summarize it to 3 bullet points maximum. Claude updates the output format. Done. Claude adds the column and the logic. Done. Claude diagnoses it and fixes it. Done. Each of those took under 2 minutes. No syntax, no Stack Overflow. Just describing the problem and reviewing what came back. That is the skill. Not coding, describing. And you already do it every day. Let's talk about what you just built. You open VS Code, run one command. Claude researches the topic, writes a structured report, and logs the findings directly to your Google Sheet, automatically. Every run, same format, every time. No email threads, no lost Slack messages. No one manually copying findings into a spreadsheet at 9 p.m. One sheet, one command. The whole operation tracked in one place. And here's what I want you to notice. You didn't write the research. You didn't format the output. You didn't update the spreadsheet. You built the system that does all three. And that system runs the same way every single time, for every person on your team who uses it. That's the difference between using AI and deploying AI. If that sounds useful, subscribe. Drop a comment below with one thing your team researches manually every week right now. I read every one, and the most common answers shape exactly what I build next. I'm Cam. At Google and Salesforce, I built knowledge systems and operational workflows used by thousands of people across finance, ops, and strategy teams. Now I'm applying that same thinking to AI and SQL, so you can build the data skills that make you irreplaceable. See you in the next one.